I cannot explain why God would save one life and allow another one to be taken. I don't have the answer for that.
Many people are curious about the reasons behind Dr. William Franklin Graham III's decision to retire at the age of 72. He is a well-known figure in the Christian community. We are going to delve into his fascinating life story today, beginning with his defiant youth and ending with his impact on the global ministry. In addition, we will investigate the remarkable journey of this influential figure, as well as his humanitarian work that has significantly impacted millions of people. Join us for an enlightening look at his life and the reason for his departure, which is both bittersweet and uplifting. Let us briefly discuss the most significant aspects of Dr. William Franklin Graham's life, ministry, and humanitarian work that have contributed to the formation of his legacy before we delve into the subject of the reason behind his departure. Early life and transformation of Franklin Graham. Despite being immersed in Christian teachings throughout his childhood, Franklin Graham struggled to meet the expectations that were associated with his father's legacy. Franklin Graham was born on July 14, 1952, into the influential Graham family. It was during his teenage years that he engaged in defiance and reckless behavior, which he refers to as rebelling. Franklin was expelled from a Christian boarding school when he continued to resist authority and seek freedom in ways that left him feeling empty. This occurred despite the fact that Franklin had attended the school. Franklin had a personal spiritual awakening in Jerusalem when he was 22 years old, and he acknowledged his sinful path before turning to faith on that occasion. This experience had a profound impact on him, and it ultimately led him to devote his life to serving others. The work that Franklin's father did for the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and Samaritan's Purse served as a source of motivation for Franklin to embark on his first mission trip with Bob Pierce, one of the founders of Samaritan's Purse. This trip ignited Franklin's passion for working with people in need. Franklin's leadership was instrumental in the transformation of Samaritan's Purse into a worldwide organization that now offers assistance in more than 170 countries. During his early mission trips, he was exposed to a variety of traumatic events, including war, famine, and natural disasters, which strengthened his dedication to both physical and spiritual service. In his role as president, he prioritized addressing the medical and spiritual requirements of the populace, which included providing solutions to emergencies such as earthquakes and the Ebola epidemic. Additionally, when natural disasters such as Hurricane Katrina and Harvey wreaked havoc on local communities, the organization dispatched their volunteers and resources to assist in providing support to families that had been displaced as a result of these catastrophic events. The remarkable dedication that Franklin Graham has shown to his work in the field of humanitarianism is truly evident, as is his hands-on approach during times of crisis. However, he is not merely an operations executive who gives orders from a distance. Rather, he is actively involved in humanitarian work all over the world. It is always a demonstration of servant leadership in action, whether it be accompanying teams into conflict zones or visiting communities that have been hit by natural disasters. This demonstrates how committed he is to meeting people on a physical and spiritual level wherever they may be, as evidenced by his willingness to travel to such hostile places. The call that he heard to go to the slums of the streets and to the ditches of the world is something that he frequently discusses, as is his dedication to serving those who have been forgotten. Franklin played a significant role in the establishment of programs that were supported by his own foundation to assist communities in rebuilding after disasters. These programs were in addition to his direct response to disasters. As an illustration, in the aftermath of significant earthquakes or floods, Samaritan's Purse prioritizes not only the immediate needs of those affected, but also the construction of homes and the construction of roads, to ensure that communities not only get back on their feet, but also help themselves in the long term. It is necessary to take a holistic approach to the process of spiritual recovery. The manner in which Franklin exercises leadership is one that is open and collaborative. He emphasizes the significance of forming partnerships with local churches and organizations in each community that they serve, which is the most important point he makes. Through collaboration with local organizations, Samaritan's Purse is able to provide assistance that is sensitive to different cultures and caters to the particular requirements of each population. In order to have a lasting impact, it is necessary to empower people, and local churches are frequently in the best position to provide this kind of ongoing support and discipleship. Franklin endured a great deal of adversity during his time with Samaritan's Purse, both in the operational trenches and on a personal level. However, he has not wavered in his commitment to his faith. On a regular basis, he attributes the success of Samaritan's Purse not to the strategic planning of logistics or to a financial whim, but rather to the exclusive divine direction and prayerful trust in God's supply. Through his work with staff and volunteers, he conveys to them the significance of faith in their own work, thereby establishing an organization that is not only for them to cultivate a personal relationship with God, but also for them to do so. In the course of Franklin Graham's flourishing ministry, his festivals sparked a worldwide revival, which resulted in the dissemination of the gospel to millions of people and redefined evangelical outreach for a new generation. The influence that Franklin Graham's festivals have had on evangelistic outreach. Franklin Graham has been a tremendous help to the evangelistic outreach, which for a number of years relied on the efforts of the church and local Christians. Since the year 1989, when he organized his first evangelical gathering, he has taken charge of more than 325 festivals across the United States and in more than 55 countries. These gatherings, which are frequently referred to as crusades, provide opportunities to share the gospel with thousands, if not millions, of people who attend. Franklin went on to explain that the significance of these events lies not only in the number of people who attend, but also in the ways in which they can bring about change and impact in the community. This structure of Franklin's father's crusades has been preserved through Franklin's festivals, which have also been modernized to accommodate the requirements and circumstances of the modern world. Typically, they are held over the course of several days and consist of various components of the program, such as music, testimonies, and preaching. The presence of Christian artists who perform at an event, which draws thousands of people from a variety of backgrounds, makes the event an event that cannot be missed. At the conclusion of each festival, there is a call for people to come forward and accept Christ as their Savior, because it is at this very moment that many people make decisions that will have everlasting consequences, and that will either change the course of their spiritual walk for the better or for the worse. This is a very important moment. In regions where Christianity is either not widely practiced or is openly persecuted, the celebrations have received a great deal of significance and have even been considered historic. The fact that the local churches play a significant role in Franklin's celebrations is a distinctive aspect of these events. The local church and community leaders participate in a comprehensive planning process that takes place in advance of each event. The establishment of these partnerships makes it possible for the outreach to become more than just an event. Rather, it serves as a springboard for ongoing ministry responsibilities within the community. Through the facilitation of an introduction to congregations and the provision of support for new believers on their journey of faith, local churches play a crucial role in the follow-up that occurs after the festivals have concluded. The local church is given the responsibility to take part in evangelism and discipleship through the implementation of this model of ministry. Interestingly, it has been demonstrated that these festivals have the ability to transform communities in addition to bringing about immediate conversion. In cities where Franklin has hosted festivals, there have been reports of an increase in the number of people attending church, revitalized ministries at the local level, and a variety of different ways in which people have expressed their desire to serve their communities. Christians have been brought together in a common mission to spread the love and message of Jesus Christ as a result of the events, which have become a rallying point for Christians. Believers will be able to experience their place in this shared story and be motivated to contribute more fully throughout the communities when they all come together and join forces. In the meantime, Franklin Graham's strategy of combining different modes of communication demonstrates an awareness of, if not social media platforms, then at least contemporary methods of communication. Since the introduction of live streaming technology, these festivals have now expanded their reach to encompass the entire world. Virtual participation makes it possible for a wider cross-section of the population to participate, as individuals who are unable to attend in person are still able to have their voices heard through the use of virtual participation. As was the case during the COVID-19 health crisis, the adaptation has proven to be especially helpful in situations where it is not possible to physically gather together. In addition, Franklin is a well-known name among evangelicals and has frequently expressed his opinions on various social issues. It is because of his willingness to confront such contemporary moral conundrums, ranging from discussions of religious liberty to issues of social justice, that believers have begun to engage in conversation about the intersection of culture and faith. By doing so, he challenges Christians to not only speak about their faith verbally, but also to demonstrate it through their actions and how they apply it. It is possible to observe the long-term effects of Franklin Graham festivals in the increased participation of young people in evangelism and in the regular activities of churches. The young people who attend these events are profoundly moved by the things that they hear, particularly by the stories that some of the speakers share. By the time they leave, they have gained the confidence to share their faith with others in settings such as the workplace, the classroom, or online spaces. This generational shift is necessary in order to ensure the future of evangelical outreach, to prevent it from becoming arrogant and unproductive, and to ensure that it continues to be vibrant and relevant. Franklin Graham took advantage of technology to spread the gospel as the digital age began to emerge. He did this by utilizing tools such as social media, live streaming, and innovative outreach in order to communicate with people all over the world. In comparison to the previous years, the global communications landscape has undergone significant changes, and technology has surpassed the evangelism that was prevalent during Franklin's father's era. As a result, Franklin's approach is significantly different from what was prevalent during his father's time. His commitment to embracing new modes of communication has been fulfilled, which has allowed him to expand his sphere of influence and communicate with a wide variety of groups across the nation in a manner that is significantly more efficient. A fast forward to the present day reveals that this adaptation also places an emphasis on electronic media. However, the things that are most important are live streaming and social media. These have evolved into vital channels that are used to disseminate the gospel in ways that go beyond the conventional methodologies. The global missions component of Franklin Graham's work has been significantly impacted by the many technological advancements that have occurred. His influence extends across the globe, even to continents that are not the United States. The immediate and direct mode of communication with believers in the immediate vicinity of the newly established churches has made evangelism easier, allowing participants from different parts of the world to coordinate their efforts accordingly. Franklin Festivals is a prime example of how modern communication practices can facilitate the accomplishment of global missions. This is done not only in large stadiums, but also online, which enables people from cultural backgrounds that are associated with the event to receive the message at the same time. When it comes to live streaming, translation services make it possible for the gospel to overcome language barriers or act as a bridge to communicate with a target audience that is comprised of individuals who do not speak English. Because of the recognition that evangelism needs to be contextualized while still being rooted in the fundamentals, the commitment to being inclusive reflects this recognition. On the other hand, Franklin considered cultural relevance to be an additional essential component of his outreach strategy. He is aware of the significance of effective communication, and he is aware that contemporary issues and cultural dynamics are factors that contribute to the requirements for good communication. The ongoing messages that he delivers to his churches typically resonate with his audiences and are relevant to the social issues of the day, moral decisions, social justice, or personal considerations. All of these things are firmly rooted in the Word of God. Those members of the younger generation who are looking for genuineness and significance in their relationship with God will find this appealing. In addition, Graham's festivals emphasize the importance of community involvement as the means by which to leave an enduring legacy that continues to reverberate long after the events themselves have concluded. The efforts of local churches, not only in the hosting of these festivals, but also in the follow-up that occurs when attendees make decisions for Christ, make it possible for these festivals to take place. Already, he has formed a partnership with a church network in order to provide new believers with ongoing discipleship. This is done to ensure that they do not simply return to their hometown after having an emotional experience at a festival that is elevated to the summit of the mountain. Through his involvement with the local church, Franklin contributes to the formation of long-term discipleship and growth. Franklin Graham's humanitarian efforts increased in response to the growing demands of a broken world. He offered essential assistance and relief in the face of natural disasters and other catastrophic events that occurred all over the world. In times of global crisis, humanitarian efforts are made. The continued implementation of evangelical policies is a manifestation of the legacy that Graham's evangelism has left behind. The manner in which many churches carry out outreach has been altered as a result of his commitment to combining evangelism and humanitarian work. His work in providing assistance to people in the aftermath of natural disasters around the world has established him as a prominent figure in the field of disaster relief and humanitarian aid. As the president of Samaritan's Purse, he has shown compassion during a number of significant disasters and has committed himself to being a servant to those who are suffering as a result of natural disasters, wars, and other types of emergencies. As a result of his organization's leadership in providing both immediate assistance and long-term recovery, it has become a model for effective humanitarian response because it demonstrates how compassion and operations can be brought together to achieve the desired results. The assistance that Franklin Graham provided in the aftermath of the devastating earthquake that struck Haiti in 2010 is one of the most notable examples of his humanitarian response. There were many fatalities and widespread destruction as a result of the earthquake with a magnitude of 7.0. The nonprofit organization Samaritan's Purse sent out emergency teams to provide medical care, food distributions, and shelter for those who were displaced. Benjamin Franklin traveled to Haiti not long after the earthquake struck, where he assisted in directly relieving relief efforts on the ground and assessing the requirements of those who were affected. Additionally, his assistance served as a reminder of his dedication and contributed to the instigation of additional relief efforts from other individuals and organizations. In a similar manner, Franklin has been a central figure in the Syrian refugee crisis that is currently affecting the world today. He has been bringing aid to those who are fleeing from violence and persecution. The response of Samaritan's Purse was to extend the mission to Lebanon and Jordan, two countries in which millions of people have sought refuge from the civil war and are in need of fundamental relief such as food, shelter, and medical assistance. His belief that the gospel ought to be accompanied by acts of compassion was emphasized by the fact that he called for churches to provide both physical and spiritual assistance to refugees. In addition to ensuring that immediate assistance was accessible, this dual effort also helped to ensure that essential community relationships were being developed for the purpose of long-term healing. In addition to these particular circumstances, Graham has consistently demonstrated his commitment to working with local churches and international non-governmental organizations, NGOs, to ensure that aid distribution is carried out in a more efficient manner. Through direct collaboration with local organizations, Samaritan's Purse is able to respond to the specific needs of the community while also maintaining all of the medical protocols that are already in place. One shoebox at a time, Franklin Graham's Operation Christmas Child brought hope and happiness to children all over the world, despite the chaos that was caused by the crisis. This brought a glimmer of joy to the situation. The initiative known as Operation Christmas Child. Since it was first established in 1993, Samaritan's Purse Operation Christmas Child has been providing children all over the world with humanitarian assistance and global outreach programming. A straightforward yet profound concept was the impetus behind the project, which was to provide shoeboxes filled with gifts to children in need all over the world, thereby demonstrating to them the love of God through a tangible gift. First, a man from England called Franklin Graham and asked if he would be willing to assist in filling shoeboxes for children in Eastern Europe. This was the beginning of everything. This discussion was actually the impetus for a movement that has in the years since changed the lives of millions of people. As a result of that initial collection, which resulted in 28,000 shoeboxes, the Organization for Children's Charity, OCC, has distributed more than 220 million shoebox gifts to children in over 170 countries and territories all over the world. The act of giving presents is only one aspect of Operation Christmas Child. It is about bringing happiness and a glimmer of hope to children who may have never been so fortunate as to receive a gift before. When a shoebox is given to a recipient for the very first time, it leaves an impression that stays with them even if the contents of the box are lost. This is true for many of the recipients. School supplies, hygiene items, toys, and notes from the packers are included in each and every box. These notes add an additional layer of personalization to the gifts. Through the distribution of shoeboxes by local churches, this impact not only helps to meet the urgent needs of those in need, but it also makes it possible for the gospel message to reach its intended audience. They have the opportunity to hear the gospel and to take part in a discipleship class that offers spiritual follow-up with each and every shoebox that they receive. The children all over the world have been profoundly impacted by the work of Operation Christmas Child. Since the beginning of the movement, millions of children have become recipients of Christmas shoeboxes. And by the year 2023, more than 11 million shoeboxes filled with gifts have been collected all over the world. It is anticipated that another 12 million children will be reached by the year 2024. More than 220 million children have received gifts from the Organization for Children's Charity, OCC, over the course of the past 20 years. These shoebox presents were collected from individuals who wanted to make a difference in the world. Not only does it fulfill the requirements of the body, but it also fulfills one of the most essential requirements of every soul by means of its discipleship program, which is referred to as the greatest journey. The children have been enrolled in the course for more than 10 years, and more than 40 million of them have participated in both learning about faith-based beliefs and practicing how to put those beliefs into practice. It is only through the personal experiences of the recipients themselves that the significance of Operation Christmas Child is further emphasized. There are thousands of children who have shared their experiences of receiving shoebox gifts and how those experiences altered the course of their lives. Each shoebox is delivered to a child with the assistance and discipleship of local church members. This is accomplished through the efforts of thousands of volunteers working in churches all over the world. For the purpose of this partnership, involvement in the community is encouraged, and the participation of local churches will include a focus on both evangelism and humanitarian aid. Volunteers are responsible for the operation of this ministry's program, which involves packing shoeboxes throughout the fall and making it easier for individuals, families, churches, and groups to pack shoeboxes during National Collection Week, which occurs every November. In addition to the traditional shoeboxes, OCC has incorporated contemporary trends by offering a portal through which individuals can construct their own shoeboxes online. It is possible for individuals who are unable to physically pack boxes to still participate in the process by selecting suitable presents for children who are in need of assistance through this option. Despite the fact that making purchases online is simple and that it is physically accessible to a large number of people, the personal touch is maintained by including a note and a picture with each virtual box. A significant number of volunteers have contributed throughout the course of the year, which has contributed to the success of the initiative. Samaritan's Purse is responsible for organizing more than 540,000 volunteers all over the world to assist with the distribution of shoebox gifts on an annual basis. This specialized unit guarantees that the process, which includes everything from packing to shipping, is carried out in a timely manner without sacrificing any of the quality control measures. Although there has been some opposition to Operation Christmas Child, it has been successful in achieving its goals. There are even some critics who argue that even though it may be commendable to give gifts, the purpose of doing so was simply to have an excuse for conversion-related ulterior motives that were behind all of this. However, proponents argue that it is essential to disseminate the message of Jesus Christ in addition to providing assistance in practical matters in order to establish a comprehensive ministry that caters to the physical and spiritual requirements of individuals. Above and beyond the pulpit, Franklin Graham's unyielding convictions sparked both admiration and controversy. His personal loss and grief tempered his resolve, revealing a leader who was forged in faith, influence, controversy, and personal loss. The level of public influence that Franklin Graham possesses, in addition to the controversies that have surrounded his ministry, are examples of the intersection of faith, politics, and social issues. Those in positions of authority in the public and private religious spheres are quick to avoid Franklin Graham. On the other hand, his approach to ministry and his willingness to actively participate in public debates concerning social issues have elicited a variety of responses. His outspoken support for former President Donald Trump, as well as his views on a variety of issues pertaining to LGBTQ rights, immigration, and Islam, elevate him to the position of a controversial figure not only within the realm of evangelicalism, but possibly in society as a whole. It has been challenging for Franklin Graham to strike a balance between the views of the public and those based on his faith, despite the fact that he continues to enjoy a significant amount of support from conservative evangelicals. The fact that he is associated with political figures such as Trump has led to allegations of partisanship, which have undermined the legacy of his father, who was completely nonpartisan. The move was met with opposition from all directions, and even members of his own family expressed their concern that he was moving away from the message of love and inclusion that his father, Billy Graham, is known for. In addition to arguing that movements such as Black Lives Matter contribute to the perpetuation of societal issues by encouraging disrespect for authority, he has voiced his opposition to marriages between people of the same gender, describing them as a sin against God. They are positions that have found a natural audience within religious circles of the evangelical variety, believers who share those views. However, they have also been polarizing and alienating to some people, with the perception that they are divisive at one end of the heated political spectrum or even extreme. The people who disagree with him continue to hold the belief that his rhetoric merely simplifies one of the most socially complicated situations we are currently facing. During both scandals, there has been a significant amount of public outrage. There is widespread condemnation of Franklin's action by prominent evangelical voices and theologians, who view it as a means of diminishing the witness of evangelicals in society. It has been brought to the attention of the public by well-respected individuals such as John Piper, for instance, how Christians can support a leader whose actions are morally incompatible with the ethical teachings revealed in the Bible. In a broader sense, the question that is being asked in evangelical circles is whether or not Franklin's association with other politicians has harmed his witness to a skeptical world that exists outside of the church. In addition to the public controversies that he has been involved in, Franklin Graham has also been through profound personal tragedies that have shaped his perspective on ministry. As the leader of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association, BGA, Franklin Graham's life and leadership role underwent a significant transformation when his father passed away in September of 2018. This event marked a significant turning point in his life. In addition to his role as a father, Billy Graham was also a source of spiritual guidance. Franklin acknowledged the weight of responsibility he felt to uphold the family legacy while simultaneously navigating the complexities of contemporary ministry when he was reflecting on the passing of his father. Franklin has been prompted to reflect on the ways in which adversity influences the journey of faith as a result of his own personal experience of suffering. On more than one occasion, he has shared the story of his father's perseverance in gospel ministry, even when things were difficult, and how it challenges him to continue on with his own work. He has also shared how his father made it through difficult times. When things get difficult, Franklin frequently talks about turning to prayer for comfort. This is something that Franklin knows to be true from his own experience, as he frequently mentions that faith plays a significant role in getting through difficult situations. As a result, this sense of faith not only has an effect on his very life, but it also has an effect on how he operates in the public sphere, where he encourages people to elevate themselves with an uncompromised God. It is also the experiences that Franklin has had with loss that have influenced his approach to public ministry. Knowing that many people are struggling with their own issues, whether it be grief, loss, or the pressures of society, he uses his teachings to confront these realities. He is aware that many people are struggling with their own issues. Through the sharing of his own personal experiences of tragedy and redemption, he hopes to connect with people on a more profound level, thereby offering words of consolation and hope that are founded on faith. Franklin Graham's ministry has been the subject of a variety of narratives as a consequence of the combination of these influences, which include both public conflicts and personal losses. The fact that he is eager to take part in the discourse of society is evidence of his dedication to finding solutions to the significant problems that are currently being faced by modern society. while still remaining true to his evangelical heritage. This engagement, on the other hand, has resulted in a cost, which has caused divisions within his family as well as within the smaller evangelical community. The constant disagreements that occur within the Graham family are the situation that best illustrates this division. The political views and language of Franklin have been publicly criticized by a few of Franklin's relatives, who have expressed their concern that it will bring their grandfather's legacy of inclusiveness and love into disrepute. This internal tension serves as a reminder of the ways in which deeply held personal ideas can come into conflict with public ministry, posing issues that extend beyond the perspectives of individuals. Can you share your thoughts on Franklin Graham and the humanitarian work that he has done? Leave a comment below and let us know. Make it a point to send a like, share, and subscribe. Click the next video that appears on your screen to view additional content similar to this one.